I think we got him. Yeah,
I'm beaming from University of Notre Dame. So.
Hey, Joel, awesome. Good to see you again. Thanks for your
Yeah.
support again this year.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me. So, thank you all. This has been awesome. Great talk, Charles. This is our third year sponsoring the hackathon. So we're excited from Simba Chain side to, be involved and have an opportunity to participate again. It's always been exciting to, see so many people and what all the different projects that end up coming out of the hackathon. So that's been awesome. I thought I'd start today just to kind of give you my view of or my experience in blockchain and where I started and my company came from. I'm a serial entrepreneur. My first company I sold to Siemens. It was a metal 3D printing software as a service cloud company. What I've been doing, and I've been taking technology from the University of Notre Dame and commercializing it, finding unique technologies, partnering with them. One of the technologies in 2016 was actually a DARPA technology that we actually me and a few professors from the University of Notre Dame, Dr. Yark Nabrisky and Dr. Ian Taylor, who were with the Center for Research Computing there. We actually took the technology, and DARPA is kind of their first blockchain technology. You heard Charles talk about, an advanced research project agency, and that's all funded by the government. What happened was I built this crypto chat app that was on the App Store, and it was just a peer-to-peer messaging application. And my brother-in-law had found an article on Vice.com that said, it said, hey, DARPA's looking for a secure messaging technology, and it's using blockchain. And I had done some Bitcoin mining, messed around with Ethereum, as far as the smart contract stuff, just a little bit. But I hadn't done, much in the space. And so 2016 came, and that came out. And so me and Dr. Taylor submitted to this grant, and we ended up winning. And so what we realized as we were developing in those early days of smart contracts, and if you're familiar with how smart contracts work, it's an interface to the blockchain. And they're neither smart nor are they contracts, but we call them smart contracts. They're very much like a stored procedure in a database. But we realized it's very difficult to stand up these different nodes and communicate and build these applications out. So what we decided was, let's build an API that can easily be built and generated for people's custom logic in a smart contract setting. So that was what we did. And so Simba was born out of that. We started doing the normal fundraise, venture capital backing and things like that. And then what happened was we actually took some of that technology from DARPA and actually turned it into some of these large contracts with the DoD. So now we are building out many blockchain technologies for Navy, Air Force, and the Marines, working with the Defense Logistics Agency. And we've won contracts with Department of Energy doing microgrid, smart contracts for doing exchanges with solar energy. And so that's been kind of our history. And thus far, now what we're supporting is many different blockchains. So what we started to do was, look at supporting consensus quorum. We do Stellar, which is orthogonal to Ethereum virtual machines. We're doing RSK, which is a side chain to Bitcoin. We do Binance's new smart chain. And we're doing Hyperledger Burrow, Hyperledger Fabric. We just joined Hyperledger Foundation and the Linux Foundation. And we have many more like Corda, Ripple, Hedera Hashgraph, many things, Quant, that we are supporting and starting to add to the platform. So that's been really exciting. And it's been exciting to work with Wyoming, the Rich and Catlin and all the different groups that are people that are there in Wyoming. It's just been exciting, and seeing the growth that's happening there. Um, and The other thing that we've also seen is that there's been this massive university um, uptick in people looking for how, there's no blockchain courses, so there's like, how do we develop blockchain, and how do professors, how do we propagate this? So you see there's lots of clubs, and I think there's going to be lots of clubs, participating in the Wyoming hackathon over the next days and weeks. So that's exciting to see these universities come together. Portland State is a big backer. The University of North Carolina, Charlotte, IUPUI, IU, Notre Dame, Cornell, Georgetown. The list goes on and on of all these different clubs and that are joining. I'd be remiss to, I'm going to miss somebody in that list. But what's amazing is that those different groups, and we're seeing the biggest uptick is not necessarily from the computer science labs, but we're actually seeing like massive adoption that's coming from the law and business schools. So they're not necessarily interested, at the protocol level, there's a lot of interesting things, and a lot of people are like, I don't really have the capability or the time to really to get that deep in the weeds, and kind of learn how to program, and pull up Truffle Suite and learn how to program a smart contract or things like that. So that's where Symbachain is filling that kind of low code. We think anyone can biddle. That's kind of like our tagline. So if you see hodls like for holding your crypto, and biddles like for building blockchain, we're kind of like, we think everybody should have an opportunity to kind of build their kind of a particular logic, and develop decentralized applications. And I know Charles was mentioning also earlier is about the verifiable credentials, and those IDs that we need to be able to own our identity and have that. And so that's a passion that Symbachain's been coming out. You can do your own wallets and different things like that, but to have your own identity is a big deal, and own credentialing. And so we've got a badging capability that's coming out. Block Search has been an amazing, if you've seen that, what they're doing, that's been really cool from that standard. And so owning your identity and being able to control your identity and how that is used, and being able to validate between people. So, a professor from a university could issue a credential to a student that took a class, and have that signed by him and the student, and say, yes, you verified that. And that student then holds that credential like, hey, I did this, and that can be verified cryptographically on a blockchain mathematically. And so that's very powerful. And you see different things on resumes and different things like that. How do you validate those different things? So that's been really exciting. And once again, just trying to focus on how do you make this easy for people to understand, and why do I even need blockchain, and those different things. And so like on our website, we've got just a 4-question quiz that you can take. It's interactive, or you can just download the PDF, but it's just like 4 questions. If they answer all yes, then you probably have a blockchain solution. So, we really focus on assets and transactions, because you're trying to track something, you're trying to exchange something, whatever that is, and you're trying to prove custody of an item. And so, and how do we do that in a trustless system, right? And so that's been the amazing thing about, what Bitcoin brought about, what Ethereum has now come about with the world computer, as we want to call it, and other protocols that serve all these different things. And that's why Symbachain is supporting like Ethereum, Consensus Quorum. Why would I need a private blockchain? Well, believe it or not, even within the US government, there are kingdoms, right? You have all these different agencies that are supposed to, have different data silos, and they have these different information systems, and they're not even trusting each other. So it is exciting it's eye-opening to me to get involved in these projects. And we realize that what we're trying to take on is like impossible probably in and of ourselves. But blockchain and the crypto community, and as Wyoming is doing so awesomely, and if that's even a word, but I just made if I'm making it up, but is blockchain and crypto is a team sport. And so it takes all the community and everybody coming together to trailblaze that kind of excitement and bring about that kind of entrepreneurial cowboy kind of mentality that, hey, we're going to go do this, we're going to work together as a community, we're going to circle the wagons, if you want to say, and build amazing products and things. So and really, I think blockchain has the opportunity to kind of like the Coca-Cola supply chain method, where everyone along the supply chain is able to add value and get value. So you're able to realize incentives every step along the way. And we're already seeing this in a supply chain setting where building these kind of zero trust networks and communicating across sub-tier supplier networks. That's our biggest, where we've seen the biggest uptick in use cases, other than for the financial side. We've seen in supply chain where adding incentives to the different suppliers and being able to join and get visibility into things that they previously didn't have, but at the same time building in the financial and the digital informational trust into that, because what we're seeing is money is information and information is becoming money, and that is a very incredible thing that's happening across. You've seen things like Congressman Soto from Florida coming out from and there's language in the new NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, 2 amendments that are standing up a center of excellence for blockchain. So that's really exciting. There are so many companies that were part of that original white paper by Value Technology. They're a think tank out of DC, and you can go download that. But there is, Amazon was part of that, IBM, Consensus, Accenture. There are so many big companies. Simba is one of those companies that was part of that. There's smaller companies like us that were involved in that white paper, but really provided a lot of input into how does Congress really look at these different things. And Wyoming obviously has been at the forefront of building that, and so many people are grabbing on to like, what is Wyoming doing? Like, how do we do this? And I'm sure Caitlin's probably received so many phone calls about people coming out, and Tyler and so many people. So it's just it's exciting to see what Wyoming has done. Simba is in full support, and like I said, we've loved supporting the Wyoming hackathon, even from 3 years ago when the first inaugural one was happening, and now we're excited to be a sponsor again and help provide our platform for the hackathon for the groups that are coming in that need to build something, and provide them like a springboard with SDKs and so many different tooling that they can use. So anyway, I'll leave a couple extra minutes for the next speaker, but I'm just excited to be here, and even though I'm up by the University of Notre Dame, so far away back in the Midwest, but I'll be watching and part of the virtual. I've already walked through the virtual booths and been in, took my avatar and everything like that. So anyway, just been exciting, and thank you again for sponsoring this amazing event and having this hackathon and bringing that realization to the rest of the community. So thank you.